Good morning. Um, I was gonna start this in German for some reason. Oh yeah, because Ramsey is both German and Canadian. So, guten Morgen, meine Damen und Herren, und willkommen auf Canada. Something like that. But yeah, welcome. We're back in Canada. We're back and we're in Canada. That's the way I think it should be. As we see people start to trickle in, welcome everyone. Let me know if anything is off, but it should be all right. Let's just see. So the stats works. It's not perfect, but we'll deal with it. Oh yeah, I've forgotten to add a couple of reserves. That's why. But yeah, it should be working. And we're actually on with the first one. I don't need tire. I need lap data and track map. That's all I need. Yeah. Was there anything else? I don't think so. I'm gonna sneeze. Hold on. I would mute, but you know what? It's midweek. It's midweek tier. Or MCC for those of you who know. Not Minecraft's championships, of course, but the better MCC. Yes, last time out, a Canadian won in Austria. We had Vapor win ahead of Carson, and Mr. Hex was in P3. Mr. Hex is not here today, but Carson, I think is? No, it's GP and Cersei, so never mind. As Rodri has left, I unfortunately don't have them as a friend. So yeah, Gord's closest competitor right now is Bronco, who should be here. Yeah, we're gonna finish P4 last time out in Austria. Meanwhile, Rusty has started their lap. Rusty has been in some serious form as of late. Of course, had a win in Monza last season in Tier 1, just ahead of yours truly actually, and then also performed very well in Qatar and picked up most improved driver of the season for last season. So yeah, he's been on fire as of late, coming through the final chicane. So easy to do exactly that. It doesn't invalidate it, to be fair. It keeps it legal somehow. It definitely cut the corner, but it will be a 1:12.7. I think we'll see faster lap times than that though, because that ending was not very good, and Tingra goes over half a second quicker with 1:12.1. Dr. J over the line, P3 currently 13.2. Dookie crossing the line just into 1:12s. Canuck goes P2 with a 1:12.5. We have Bronco crossing the line with a 1:11.0. The Canadian on his home turf. taking provisional pole position. And we have a Mercedes of Gordzos 111.2. Ramsey, thank you. Yeah, it's 2:37 a.m. right now, so yeah. Hoop P3 goes down to P4 because GP Colin goes P3 with a 111.6 compared to 111.8. Vinny has gone P6, and now Spot Up is gonna start this lap up. The American driving for the American team here in Canada. Would be surprised if there is no tomatoes coming flying onto the track when they see the American outfit. Actually, to be fair, it's Canada. They're quite nice there. Gord needs to set a 10.x or he's washed. I agree, he definitely needs to get into the 10s. I honestly think they could maybe even, if they get it super right, maybe even dip into the 9s. As my good friend Ace Edge goes P6 with a 12.2. Spot Up coming across the line now, 11.9. Goes P5. Currently disgruntled. Look to have some decent pace in the practice session. Of course, you gotta remember, practice sessions is super low grip because they are simulated to be on Fridays. And he seems pretty quick, so definitely should not count Muppet out. And he was also purple in sector 2, coming through the hairpin onto the long back straight. Well, it's not Vegas long, but it's definitely long. Vegas is of course a track that this tier won't be going to because, well, it's only me who wants to race it and I don't race here, so they decided to yeet it. Disgruntled goes P13 with a 1:13.337. That feels like elite time. Noob has unfortunately invalidated. Rodri has come back. And is about to start a hot lap. So let's see what they can do. Coming up to the first turn and cuts it and invalidates. I'm definitely not laughing at you. Yeah, that's just a fun situation. A little bit anticlimactic. Palani coming up to the end of the first sector, starting the second sector with the chicane, and it looked solid enough. It's a very tricky track to get on power through the next chicane, cutting it as much as he dares, and that would have scared him. Definitely would have scared me, and apparently purple sector 2 as well for Palani. Looked like he struggled to get on the power out of the hairpin. Now down to the chicane. Using all of the ERS, all of the straight line speed. Takes the safe approach, doesn't want to risk cutting the final 2 turns. And comes across the line for a 13.0 to go P13. Just behind their teammate actually, in Dookie Hoser, who has been in P12. Let's go on with the leader, Bronco, slipping and sliding. Their way on the end of sector 2 is currently 3 temps down. 3 tenths behind, I should say. But they will probably know that they can find some time through the final chicane. No, actually aborts. Gordzos coming through the final chicane. Looked like a decent chicane. Now up to the line, does go pole with a 110.5. And there is the 110 you asked for, Ramsey. Team guys 2 seconds down. Spot up pass invalidated. Vinny is coming to the line and is getting a lovely toe from the Red Bull, and Vinny goes P7 with a 111.920. Rodri crossing the line, setting a time of 112.5, just ahead of Northern actually with a 112.5 as well. That's really faster to me. Yeah, I honestly think they could dip into the 109s if they get it right. Dutch is improving currently from that 113.0. The 10th would be 112.917, would move him up a spot, and he has no ERS. And a bad exit, and yeah, that's an aborted lap. Let's go on board with Asage. He's not pushing. It is currently P5 with a 111.5. 300ths behind Timgra currently in P4. Hoop is definitely pushing. Have they found some time? They have. 3 tenths improvement. We're bringing to 111.5, which is just on that Timgra and Asage duo. Will they be able to split them or jump them both? Decent final chicane as well. Hoop up to the line. 111.4 jumps up to P3. Does the Alfa Romeo driver. Disgruntled is pushing. It looks like a decent chicane up to the end of sector 2. Is currently a 10th up. Through the hairpin. And now onto the back straight. And now you're praying that your wings were lower than you hoped, so that you can go as fast as possible. Spot your braking marker. Decent chicane. You can definitely cut it a bit more to get some more speed, but does improve to a 13.0 and goes up to P16 for Disgruntled. Team guys back in the pits. Rodri on the out lap. Of course, this track is quite short, quite tight, so it might be a good thing going out early for your final laps, because of course then you can't be get stuck. Well, you shouldn't get stuck. Here we go then, Rodri. Not the greatest of final chicanes to set up the lap. Let's see what they can do. On board. This time gets turn 1 right. Where's it turn 2? I don't actually know. Decent first sector so far. And has found a tenth and a bit of improvement. Not an ideal start to the second sector. Now on to the second chicane in the second sector. It's decent, can carry a little bit more speed. Ideally you want that, but has found another tenth and a bit, almost 2 tenths. And now the straight, you want to make as few directional changes as possible. And now spot the brakes. Oh, that's a little bit deep into the chicane. It can almost completely corner cut on that first turn, but has found improvement to 112.2, but I don't think they moved up. Colin is a second behind. Rusty is the next one. Rusty is also not pushing. Dookie up to the line, improves to a 112.5. Jumps in between the Alpha Tauris of Rodri and Kanak. Everyone is starting their outlap, essentially, except for Gordsos, currently sitting in the box. A lot of people have started their laps. Let's go on board with Vinny, as we can actually see where he is, and he looks to be one of the first. It looks like a traffic jam out the pits. Gordsos is also not gonna come out, it seems, so Gordsos is happy with a 110.5. Does not feel the need to improve on that. Spot up has crashed into the first chicane, which is what, turn 3 or 4? Rodri retires in the pits as well. Let's see what Vinny can do then. It looks like a decent chicane, looks to have decent speed out of it. Does improve, but only just. Northern jumps ahead of their teammate 11.9, 2 thousandths behind Noob, who has invalidated their final run before they even began. GP Colin into the box, and let's go on board with the Bronco then. Bronco is the furthest ahead of the 2 challengers for pole position. Bronco, not at all. Hoop, invalid. So neither is gonna be able to take pole. Ace Edge, we've not seen a lot of him so far. Has found 12 thousandths of an improvement so far. Needs to find some more. Of course, only 30 hundredths or 30 thousandths behind Tinga. Again, the tail end looking a little bit happy. Oh, and invalidates through the final chicane. Tingra. Can they find the improvement they need? And really attacking that final chicane. And now up to the line. No. even lifted a little bit, and that Dr. J improves up to P16 as this country goes into the pits, and that is your qualifying session. Gorzo was taking pole in the Mercedes Bronco, getting P2 in the qualifying session ahead of Hoop. Rusty takes P4 ahead of Tinga in 5th. The rest of the grid is coming very, very soon. There we are. Asage gets P6, GP Colin P7, Vinny gets 8th ahead of Spot Up, and Noob running off the top 10. The rest of the grid, Northern, Palani, Rodri, Dookie, Cersei, Dr. J, Disgruntled, and Dutch are the ones rounding off this grid. I'm just quickly gonna make sure that Rusty is added. There we go. So yeah, Gorzo was taking pole by almost half a second on only 2 runs as well, to have saved a set of soft tires for the race. Mr. Hex definitely wasn't 5th. I see people discussing setups. Of course, it's a very tricky track. You want low wings because it's a lot of straight, it's a lot of speed, but at the same time you need the wings to get around the corners and also to not spin. So it's a very difficult setup track. I honestly think you can run a little bit higher than you think, due to DRS and slipstream being super powerful, especially together. Of course, even if they can catch you on the straights, do they have enough straight to actually overtake you, or can you just keep them behind by being fast in the corners? That is also a question you have to ask. As we're just waiting for the green flag to ready up. And there we go, the 5 red lights are coming on, and away we go for the Canadian Grand Prix. It's 2 Canadians on at the front. Oh, and Rusty absolutely sends it, taps Hoop a little bit. That's the one I want, and this is the one I want. Oh, Palani's out. Palani's out. Safety car. Safety car. Safety car immediately. Palani is out after turn 2. I don't really know what happened. Rusty tried to sneak in between. It looked like Hoop and Bronco, and makes contact with Hoop, who's gone down 4 positions off the start. Noob is the biggest gainer with 5 positions. And I've just clocked that the safety car is gonna get this race taking a little bit longer. That's why. I was gonna say it's very, very laggy. As Dookie picks up a 5 second for speeding, and that's not what you want to do. At least, well, I was gonna say, at least you can get rid of it, but I can't. Dookie into the box. I'm a little bit surprised. I can't say this on I can't say it on stream because obviously the racers might be listening. But I'm surprised someone hasn't boxed. Ramsey, do you want me to stream the data screen in the comms chat? I'll stay muted so you won't hear me twice, but is that something you would want to see? Because I should be able to do it, I think. Let's see the tires on number 1. It's mixed, very, very mixed. Palani started on hards, Dookie went to another set of mediums. Other than that, it's medium for Gordsons, it's hards for Bronco, Rusty, Ace-Edge, Noob. Fair enough. Timgra is currently P6 on the mediums, Hoop on the hards, and then there's a lot of mediums down to Northern Canuck. Rodri down to Disgruntled on hards again, and then you have Dutch and of course Dookie. Fair enough. I'll just send you the image of it then, quickly, and you'll see why I'm a little bit surprised. That. There. Safety car is in this lap. And we have Gordsauce taking control. we go. Gorsos has gone, and he's gotten a pretty decent restart. Rusty as well, with a very... Noob getting very close to Ace Edge. Gorsos, of course, is galloping away on those mediums. Needs to use the pace of those tires. Oh, and Rusty. Very close to Bronco. Further back we have a little bit of smoke from Dr. J in the Ferrari. Oh, I totally haven't gone through any standings whatsoever. Well, I did mention the driver standings, but not the constructors. So as Gorsos picks up the fastest lap of the race so far, unexpected. With a little bit of sarcasm, of course. As we get a lovely helicopter view of Noob's car as he's trying to hunt down Ace Edge. The standings as currently stands, actually not currently, after round 1 you have Mercedes in P1, Red Bull P2, only 13 points behind, and then another 4 behind that, Alpine. It's going to be very interesting as we see Noob having a bit of a bad exit. Couldn't think of the words there. Oh, and goes very deep in the hairpin, and Tingra on those mediums will fly past up into P5 for the, I think he's from Luxembourg, so I'll work on that assumption. Rusty is under pressure from Ace Edge as Gord puts up another fastest lap of the race. Ace Edge takes a little grass. Rusty looked like he cut the corner a little bit to stay ahead. Maybe picked up a warning there. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. He really is a little bit too quick sometimes. As we look further back, and we have a battle here for P7. Hoop, who of course had a little bit of touching going on at the start, is under pressure from the medium runner of GP Colin. Of course, Hoop on the hards himself. Down the inside it goes. As Hoop cuts the corner, we saw it on stream, and he picks up a 3-second time penalty. Very easy to come by here, especially if you're on a pad, although I will say it's a lot easier to stay on track this year compared to previous years. But of course, still very easy to come by track limit warnings. You can see there's a bit of a train. Rusty is out! Rusty is out! Lost it out of the chicane. And that's another safety car, and another couple of minutes longer until I can go to sleep. Ah, damn you. And now, question is, what do you do? Gorsos carries on. I probably would have stuck on a set of hards. Possibly to the end, but also just to get rid of the set. You can go back to the mediums at the end. Spot Up has done it. Goes into the box. Let's see what tires goes on for him. A set of hards goes on for the Haas. A bit surprised not more people did that. Dodge, another set of mediums. Cersei onto a set of mediums. Might as well get some good shots. Bum, 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 bum. Oh yeah, constructors. So Alpine was. And let's go from the top again. Mercedes on top with 57 points. Red Bull in second with 44. You have Alpine in third on 40. You have Ferrari in fourth. And then you have Haas in fifth. And then you have Aston Martin in sixth. All on 38 points. You have Alpha Tauri, as the safety car's in. Alpha Tauri on 32. You have Williams on 26. McLaren on 12. Alfa Romeo on 9. So I will say the admins, so far it's looking like they've actually gotten the constructors fairly close, considering it's a mixture of three tiers basically: tier 1, tier 2, and of course the old premier tier when it comes to pace. Oh, there's contact. Oh no, actually never mind. Noob getting track limits under the safety car. Gordsos went a little bit later this time. I'm surprised he didn't go as soon as possible, because of course he's on mediums. Just use that pace. Take the corners at speed, because that is where the hard runners will struggle. Cersei makes it up to P13. We see Tingra having a look. Asa gave the space, and now Tingra has marbles on the tires and has a big slide on the exit as they're trying to get power down. The Alfa Romeo switching place with each other. Vinny tries Have a look, noob, into the box. What tires is gonna be put on? And there's a front wing waiting as well. Noob actually picked up that some wing damage right from the start. So very impressive work. But I of course didn't want to give any strategical advantages to any driver who may be spy listening. Well, we could see Disgruntled doing what most people want to do, just cut that corner, and it's so inviting because you know if you straighten that out you can take more speed, but it will cost you in the long run. It's what I would classify as an unnecessary warning. As we see Cersei down the inside of Dookie up to P11 from the Red Bull driver. Seems to have some serious speed in that Red Bull. Spot up! I don't really know what happened, but spot up. Spins. Did he pick up any rear wing damage from that? That's the question. I don't think so. Don't know. Hopefully it didn't, because that is race ending, unfortunately. Disgruntled picks up 3 seconds, and I can't say it wasn't expected from the little I've seen. Colin couldn't get the exit, so we're gonna take a look at the American of Ace Edge trying to attack the defending Canadian in P2 as we see Ace Edge go very, very wide. A couple of 3 seconds being given out. Trying to look. Oh! Contact between Disgruntled and Cersei, I think. Safety car. Oh! The rejoin from Disgruntled was not pretty as well. And Dookie loses the rear end. I don't actually know if it was because of Disgruntled or he just genuinely lost it. But the Williams lost the rear end as we have safety car number 3 on lap 13. Now they have to box the medium runners because they can definitely make it to the end now on the hard tires. And Gord does bite. Question is, what does the hard runners do? They bite the bullet. They are gonna have to box for a set of mediums then. Will they last? I mean, they might go to the end without popping, but they won't be pretty. That is for sure. There is of course one more safety car, I think, that can come out, so I'm pretty sure there's one more. I think there's 4. So we could see them get saved once more. And currently actually Rodri is in the lead and almost overtaking the safety car. But yeah, Rodri ahead of Gordzos. Gordzos has to make it through Rodri before Dutch and the rest gets through Dr. J. on the hards. We also saw, of course, Dookie, for example, box. Dookie boxed for hards. Disgruntled boxed for a set of mediums, and I wouldn't be surprised if we have OSV. That's not gonna. Okay, it didn't work. Fair enough. Rodri into the box. They are gonna come out in last. But onto a set of mediums, I assume. Yes. Right, I think, yep, there it is. Safety car is in this lap. Cord sauce for a third time then, leading the field on a safety car restart. So far they've gone after the final chicane and later down the straight. When do they go this time? That is the $1,000,000 question. Get on board with Gordzos weaving, trying to get heat into those hards. It's not immediately after, but he has gone. Bronco got a good restart and is already side by side with Dutch. And it looks like Asa just gonna try and sneak through as well. Has managed to do that spot up. Is he gonna be successful in doing that as well? No, not quite. Very good restart from Bronco and Asage. We can see a lovely little battle here for what is P6 spot up at the front. Oh, and we can see Vinny in the background as Bronco gets up into P2 and Asage. Oh, and Dr. J spins. And is now currently in last of the runners. Vinny dropped a bit as well, but now spot up is very close to Dutch. Is looking to the outside and is braver on the brakes, but has to go to the escape road. And now Dutch is under pressure from Tingra instead. Tingra right around the outside, turns to the inside of course for turn 2. Who gets a better exit? And it is a virtual safety car. Oh, there's a 5-second for GP. Tingra just made a move in the nick of time up to P4, and Gord is again being halted in his run. At least this time it's not neutralized, and I think that is all the safety cars used up. I'm not 100% sure, but I think so. And it is a full course safety car. Full course safety car. I know it says virtual, but it is a full course safety car. We can see it on the track map actually. So it is gonna be neutralized. And now the question is, what do you do? Gorzos, I mean, he's not gonna come out last, I think. He stays out, he stays out. I mean, I think he definitely has the pace to pull away even on those hards. The question is now, Bronco stays out. You know, I don't think they want to box so soon after they did. Someone like Dutch, of course, can take advantage. We are going to the hards. You see down the field a lot of boxing. There's a front wing going on northern. Oh, and Rodri. Yeah, spot up as well. Spot up on the softs. That's an interesting choice. There's no more safety cars, remember. 4 is the maximum, I'm pretty sure. And Rodri, after the double stack, again stuck in P15. And that is of course not what they want. But I have belief that they will make top 10 at the end of this race. At the front though, I wished I had Gordzo's thoughts right now. If we could have a team radio, that would have been awesome. Because I just know from personal experience, of course, when you are a little bit faster and the safety car comes out time after time after time after time, of course, to keep the lead, you have to get it right every single time. To gain the lead, you only have to get it right once. So the big question is always, do you box, do you stay out? I think, personally, in Gorzo's position, I probably wouldn't box because I know the pace. If I'm in Broncos or Azage point of view, I probably would, just to have the freshest possible tires at the end. And Dookie picking up. Oh lads, that's not good. Dookie, as I assume, ran into the back of a noob then. Question is whose fault it was. Well, Dookie is definitely gonna have to box them. Yeah, the safety car's in. Safety car's in for what I think is the last time. Gordzos, a 4th time in the lead of a safety car restart here in Canada. When do they decide to go? That is the question. There we go. Gordzos goes early this time, way before the chicane, and has caught Bronco absolutely lacking. Did anyone get a good restart? Not really. Dookie goes into the pits. But a very, very good restart from Gordzos. Going early is definitely a big shout if you can do it correctly. Spot up, pushing on those softs. There's a bunch of 3 seconds. We will of course go to penalties closer to the end of the race to make sure we can get the race results to you right away. Dr. J, gets overtaken for P10. Northern Canuck versus Dutch. It's gonna be an interesting battle here for P7. Oh, Northern Canuck gets a little bit eager to go on the power actually, and loses the grip at the rear of the car. Oh, look at the exit from Noob compared to Northern. Someone picked up Father's lap, but I didn't see who. Unfortunately, Twitch is too close. I can't do what I do on when I stream on YouTube. GP gets ahead of Hoop for P5. GP on the hards compared to GP on the mediums. Very interesting. Oh, a Noob looks towards the inside of Northern, just can't quite get it, and now Northern is a very good exit compared to Dutch. A little bit of weaving from Dutch. Disgruntled and Vinny. Oh, there's contact, there's massive contact. Spot up, running into the back of Disgruntled, and Rodri running into the back of Spot Up. Rodri with no front wing. I'm gonna assume Spot Up has some kind of front wing damage. As DRS gets enabled, let's see if Spot Up dives into the pits. No, they carry on. Rodri has to, of course, with no front wing whatsoever. Hoop very close to GP Colin, disgruntled, picking up 3 seconds. Soft tires for Rodri. Noob up the inside of Dutch, and Noob is up into P7. Dutch under pressure again from Northern this time, and this time Northern Canuck gets the move done into the hairpin though. He has a little look down the inside, but now under pressure from Dr. J, who's gone right around the outside actually. Gets a very good exit, and Dr. J up into P9. Dutch losing out big time, and now we can see them side by side just ahead. Dookie picks up a 3 seconds. Dutch backs out of the move. Spot Up is right on the back of this as well. Decides not to go for it. This round are boxed for set up softs. Spot Up now up into P11. Vinny has to give up that position, and now Spot Up with a good, as we abort that to check on Team Grand. Ace Edge takes to the grass on the outside of the chicane, but can't quite get the power down. Oh, and nearly runs into the back of Team Grand. GP Colin now right on the back as well of Hoop. The Hards is looking like the better tire right now. Ace Edge picks up 3 seconds. Currently Bronco, Team Grand, Canuck and Spot Up, the only ones without penalties. Bronco just outside that 3 second time gap right now. Back down to the let's just call it group of chaos. Northern Canuck He's in the middle of this little train. Dutch has fallen away from that train a little bit. And now Vinny is looking closer and closer. We saw Ace Edge. We see GP Colin and Hoop. But we also see Vinny get up into P11. GP Colin has lost multiple places. Down to P7. Must have had a very bad exit then. And Timgra and Ace Edge. Oh, and Ace Edge. No front wing for the Haas driver. We'll need to box for a set of, I'm gonna assume, softs at this point in the race. GP very close to Hoop. Decides not to go for it into this chicane. I'm a little bit surprised. He seems to have a lot of overspeed to actually go for it, but decides not to. And they both cut a lot of the corners. Cut or extend, should be said. And GP, I don't really know what happened there. There's a yellow flag somewhere. Ace Edge, of course, into the box as predicted with that front wing. Noob has retired somewhere. Wall of Champions. Wall of Champions has claimed another victim, and it's Noob this time in the Alfa Romeo. Of course, no safety cars. No safety cars. Because this game is so great and has a limit of safety cars instead of just, you know, getting a logic of when it should come out. Rodri, I was gonna say up to P11, but Hoop right on the exits overtakes Hoop. Oh, and Rodri went in a little bit hot there and had to take to the grass to escape it. Northern Canuck very close to spot up. Ace Edge actually went mediums, which I'm not that surprised. Mediums and softs are quite close on pace. But the mediums last a little bit longer, so of course mediums is not a bad shout. Especially considering the cars ahead are on older hards or mediums. So, I mean, are definitely still gonna be able to catch. As we now see GP Colin catching the Ferrari of they call me Dr. J. And this is a battle for P4. We can see, I think, dirty air is still having an effect. Of course, it's not as big as previous games, but it's still not very fun to follow cars. Of course, still gets DRS because the detection point is so early on. See what Vinny can do instead. He looks a little bit closer to his prey of Northern Canuck. Actually, GP Colin, as Hoop picks up the fastest lap of the race, just need to gain one more position and they can get that point. GP Colin is now very, very close to Dr. J. Round the outside, he's looking at least, but can't quite get it done. Now, GP then is falling away again from Dr. J. Needs to get this right, but doesn't. Runs deep, and that's gonna cost. Oh, and yeah, picks up marbles and spins. Marbles and grass is not a good combo, and GP into the wall. Ace Edge goes around, Dutch. Up to P10, and Hoop might actually be able to pick up P10 then, because GP surely needs to box. No front wing on that Red Bull. And does box. And now the battle for P6. Sorry, P5 actually. And GP actually retires in the pits. But actually the battle for P6 has become a battle for P5. They have caught up to spot up. And this is going to become a three-way battle. We can see Bronco is actually within that 3-second gap now. Oh, never mind. Just outside of it again. Oh, and Vinny kissing the wall. Had a spin. Oh, and goes back for seconds. I think, yeah, actually lost the entire front wing. That's Dutch. Goes down the inside of Vinny. Of course, Vinny can't really turn. Vinny down to P10 will need to box for front wing. Hoop and Dutch. Actually very close off to Vinny, because Vinny, I think, actually had gone past the detection point when he spun. Dutch picked up a 3-second time penalty. But with that said, let's go on to the penalties, and we can see the gaps. There is a couple having a big effect. Most notably, gourd sauce, of course, 3 seconds, currently 3.0. Actually, scratch that, 2. Oh, never. You can see it's very, very close between these two. Bronco knows, just needs to stay within that 3 seconds gap. If you are looking at the stream, you can of course see the ERS levels. I'm not gonna shout them out. Due to, you know, me keeping it a little bit fair. But yeah, Dr. J currently is losing at least one spot to spot up. Who is currently gonna get P4 of the Ferrari of Dr. J. Northern Canuck currently P6 is gonna need to close up a little bit more if he wants a taste of that Ferrari position. Who would of course go up to P5, and we can see people locking up. Lap 32, Bronco versus Gourd Sauce, but we also have Ace Edge versus Northern Canuck. Ace Edge down the inside, decides better of it, and I can only applaud that. I probably would have gone for it, because I know you have spot a couple of seconds up on older. If we just go back to tires on older softs, so it's of course going to be a lot quicker. So I would want it as soon as possible, and the chicane would have been a good overtaking opportunity. But here we go, Asage down the inside. Has it done before the breaking point even starts? Is of course gonna give Northern Canuck DRS. So the section point has already gone. Ah. Seems to be a little bit of connection issues for Dr. J, making it very tricky to overtake, of course. And yeah, we can see it's not very good. Of course, it becomes super tricky to know where the other car is when you have lag. And Asage has already caught up to spot up. Oh, and spot up locks up. Spot up locks up. And Asage goes past, flying past even, up to P5. And this is one of those where if I'm in spot up's shoes, I hope that if Asage is not making any more positions up, I hope he backs off and gives spot up in the position through penalties. As we have begun the penultimate lap, and Bronco is currently still just on that 3-second edge. This one will pick up 3 seconds. But yeah, if I'm spot up, I'm hoping that Asage backs off in case if Asage can't catch and overtake Dr. J, of course. And if I'm in Asage shoes, I would of course do what I'm just preaching now. If I can't catch Dr. J and overtake him, I would of course back off to make sure spot up gets the position. We begin the final lap of the race, and actually Bronco, no, never mind, didn't get DRS, but the final lap of the race has begun. Gordsauce needs to find half a second on Bronco, and Bronco actually has a big snap, turn 2, and it's currently 3.1 seconds. This is for the win, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else. Bronco currently 3.3 seconds. Asage and Dr. J battling. I don't really want to leave the... Oh! Dr. J has spun. Dr. J has spun. Asage has spun. Asage is out. Where? How? Huh? Gordsauce has absolutely sent it on this last lap. And Gordsauce is gonna cross the line first, but is it enough? I think it's going to be enough. Gordsauce wins by less than a second. Timgra comes across the line 4 seconds back in the end. Spot up is gonna come across the line in either P4 or P5, because here comes Northern Canuck. No, he doesn't send it. I wouldn't want to see that. He goes for the exit instead. That's a very good exit to the line. Spot up wins it. Spot up wins P4. And now Hoop, with 9 seconds of penalties, is gonna lose out a couple of positions here. Dr. J comes across the line, jumps up to P6. Rodri can't quite do enough, so Hoop keeps P7. Dutch. Oh, and Vinny I don't know if you could spot it, but Vinny actually retired on the final exit. Exit in chat. Yeah, I understand that. Just screams. He's not very happy. But Gorsons makes it 2 from 2. Wins in Canada as well. I definitely think we're gonna see a couple of stewards interventions. So I do think that this race result is highly preliminary, but Gorsos wins ahead of Bronco. Tingra gets the final podium. Spot Up and Northern Canuck P4, P5. They Call Me Dr. J P6. Hoop 7th. Rodri 8th. Dutch and Vinny rounding off the top 10. And Vinny actually, of course, getting +1 lap because it crashed on the final turn, but he was the last across the line. Ace Edge gets classified in P11. Dookie P12. Disgruntled last classified? Yes, because he gets P13. The rest are DNFs. GP, Noob, Cersei, Rusty, and Palani. All DNFs. Palani, of course, DNF lap 1, turn 2. Or 3, I don't actually know if that's a little thing counts. But yes, that is it. A preliminary standings would be that Gorzos is leading by... I can't see a gap. But he's leading by 26 points. Down to Bronco. Spot Up is currently P3. Carson would be P4. Canuck is currently 5th. But remember, this is highly preliminary. But that is gonna be it. It's double Canadian delight in Canada. Join us again here on the PRL channel on Sunday. When we are racing in the Champions Pick of Las Vegas. I wonder who picked it. But yeah, that is coming to you on Sunday the 19th. I have a game day. I'm refereeing a game, so I don't actually know if I can race. It depends on how I'm feeling. But yeah, I'm hopefully up for racing. But yeah, especially might not be commentating tier 2 as usual. There. Otherwise, on Wednesday, in the midweek tier, on the 22nd, we are going to Silverstone. So don't miss that. Other than that, I've been your host, the tired Swede, Jesper. And until next time, have a good night and a goodbye from me. Take care of yourselves and goodbye.